Hola, muy buenas a todos y bienvenidos. Otro episodio más aquí en Cosas Militares. Como siempre, pues comprometidos con traeros una buena información de lo que sucede. Y hoy tenemos con nosotros a nada más y nada menos que a su excelencia el señor Sri Dinesh Patnaik, el embajador de la India en España, con el que vamos a hablar en inglés, pero luego lo subtitularemos sobre la situación que se está viviendo con Pakistán y qué perspectivas tiene concretamente pues India como país respecto a todo esto. So, be welcome to Cosas Militares. Thank you very much, Mr. Dinesh.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the program.
All right, so I wanted to start straight to the point. What is how has the history evolved on this affair since the terrorist attacks? How does India see it since then?
What happened on April 22nd was a big blow to the psychology of the nation. We have been trying for the last 50 years to bring peace to our borders. We have worked with all our neighbors trying to bring peace to our borders because India is doing very well economically, it is doing very well politically, it is doing very well in the world. And we don't want a problem which will hold us back. And so we have been trying to resolve the problem. But we have neighbors who do not believe in the same thing we do. They believe that if they cannot attack India directly, if they cannot do anything directly with us, they will do it through a backward means by coming in through terrorists sponsored by them, by militants sponsored by them. And this they have been doing for the last 40, 50 years. Our neighbor has a history of having done this. They have been doing it all over the world. I mean, you look at any big terrorist incident in the world, whether it is the London bombing, the Madrid bombings, the World Trade Center, 9/11, you name anything. There's always been a signature of Pakistan terrorist or Pakistan-sponsored terrorist in any of the bombing. Sydney, Indonesia, you name it. And India, we have been suffering from the last 50 years. And what happened on April 22nd was a big blow because up till now, at least the militants used to attack, like they attacked in 2019, they attacked military installations. They attacked military personnel, which we could take it because the military personnel were trained to take all these. But when you attack tourists, when things were coming back to normal, when Kashmir was seeing the highest amount of tourists ever, when things were back to normal, when militancy was down, when everything was down, the stone pelting, all the problems that we have faced in the past were down. At that time, to create this situation and to kill people on the basis of religion, a very terrible act, where you took the people, shot them on the head in front of their families. I mean, this is terrible. I mean, you do a bombing where you are far away, you don't know what is happening, that is fine. But you line them up. You line them up one by one and you ask them, what is your religion? If he says he's not Muslim, you, in front of his wife and children, you shoot him in the head. And then you tell his wife, you go and tell people, tell Prime Minister Modi, tell others that this is what will happen to non-Muslims. And so this was terrible. So the whole country was angry. There was an anger in the country. There was a sadness in the country. And the government had to respond. But we did not respond against anything that was military in nature, anything which is economic infrastructure, anything which is national infrastructure of Pakistan. All we did was that we attacked terror bases, which every intelligence agency in the world knows. The Americans know, the British know, the Europeans know, the Canadians know. All of them know that these are terrorist bases. These are bases where terrorists roam free, where they walk around, where they're trained, where they are recruited, where they're equipped with guns, where they're equipped with all kinds of possible things to attack India. And these are terror camps. And so we attacked the terror camps. And when we attacked the terror camps, our attack was measured, was done in a manner in it was targeted, non-escalatory. We did not target any military infrastructure. We did not target any economic infrastructure, nothing, just the terror camps. And that was necessary because we had promised our people that we will bring the perpetrators of the horrible act of April 22nd to justice. And this is what we did. We expected cooperation of Pakistan because Pakistan always says it is against terrorism. That is something they have been saying always. But as everybody in the world knows, whatever they say, they don't do. For 10 years, they said, we don't know where Osama bin Laden is. And then it was found next to an army headquarters. I mean, I can give you many, many examples. They say something. Pakistan has a way of accepting in the future their past actions, but at the present moment, they don't accept. And so this is something we find it very difficult to work with. You saw their defense minister on TV recently. He admitted clearly that for the last 30 years, Pakistan has been doing it. Their foreign ministers admitted. Their former president Pervez Musharraf had admitted. Nawaz Sharif, the former prime minister, admitted that Pakistan has been doing this for a long time. It's a very low-cost way of attacking India. And we cannot let it happen all the world. The world cannot let it happen. This is something which needs to be taken action against.
Do you think that this was, prepared by Pakistan, or do you think that this is due to Pakistan allowing these kind of terrorist groups operating inside their territory and inside India in order to do this kind of attacks? I mean, is there an active support, or is it, let them do whatever they want?
See, if you have terrorist camps in your country, if you have people supporting terrorism directly, if you have an army chief who on 4th of April talks about how India and Pakistan are different, how Pakistan will never stop supporting the effort to liberate Kashmir, how all effort should be done to do this. When the establishment talks about this all the time, what do we gather from that? We gather that this is something which the Pakistani establishment wants to do. And we want to teach them a lesson that you cannot continue with this. If you are really against terrorism, the way you say, work with us to take action against them. Why do you have camps? Why do you sponsor terrorists? Across the world, it is not just us. You look at the UN designated terrorist entities. Most of them are Pakistani origin. You name any government in the world, they will tell you where the terrorists come from. And it is something which Pakistan has to work. It is in their own benefit to work with the international community, to work with India, to stop the terrorists from being sponsored by them.
So what about the international reaction? What does the US say? What does Russia? What does China say? What is your point of view on that international reaction?
All of them have supported the fact that terrorist action should be condemned, that terrorism is something which should not be done. But like all countries in the world, they ask for restraint. They ask not for escalation. They ask for both the countries to sit together, have a dialogue. We have been doing it for a long time. Even our action, the attack that we did, was a very restrained one. We only attacked terrorist infrastructure. We did not attack any military infrastructure. There was no escalation. Even Pakistan admitted, they said there was no breaking of Pakistan airspace and that no military installations were attacked. We attacked. But look at what happened yesterday night. Pakistan is now attacking back military installations and other installations in India. We defended ourselves, that is a different matter. When Pakistan responds to somebody attacking their terrorist infrastructure, what do you think? Why would Pakistan defend terrorist infrastructure? They should be working with us to stop them. You saw the picture. I can show you the picture. It's on my phone. Abdul Rauf, Hafiz Abdul Rauf, who is the head of one of the terrorist organizations there, was doing the funeral of the people killed in the terrorist attack, Indian terrorist attack. Now, a terrorist, he's wanted by the UN, he's wanted by the US, he's a UN designated terrorist entity, Hafiz Rauf. You see his picture standing on the funeral of the terrorist killed by us, and behind him are all army people. Now, what do you say of a country where the army stands behind the terrorists and the terrorists' coffins are draped in the flag of the Pakistan? Now, this is something which is unacceptable to the world.
Yeah, absolutely. For the audience, I'm right now looking for, I guess it is maybe this person, right?
Yeah, this is Hafiz Said. This is Hafiz Said. I can show you the picture, but I don't know if I can.
All right. Sure.
Let me try and send you the picture, but
perfect.
I don't know if I can focus it next to the camera.
Yeah.
This is Hafiz Rauf. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see it with the microphone, with the Pakistani military behind, right?
A funeral. If I show you the funeral, these are the coffins around him. The coffins have Pakistan flag on them. And that is a UN designated terrorist entity, the man in the middle. And look at behind him, who all are standing behind him. I mean, this is unacceptable anywhere in the world. You think any sensible government in the world would allow something like that, for the army to be standing behind terrorists? And so this is a country we are dealing with.
Yeah, absolutely. So now the picture that the ambassador is showing is right, this one. Yeah, here we see it.
One, exactly.
That's it. And so let me do a little Spanish note. So este es el terrorista al que está hablando justamente ahora el embajador, que como veis pues tiene detrás al ejército pakistaní que está pues participando en el funeral junto a las autoridades, ¿no? Y no dejamos de estar hablando pues de un yihadista, ¿no? All right, so generally speaking, what is your point of view on the reaction of Spain? What can you say about that?
See, Spain has reacted like most other European countries. And, my foreign minister had once said that Europe thinks that Europe's problems are the world's problems, but the world problems are not Europe's problems. But I don't, for me, Spain should react much more openly, because Spain has been the victim of terrorism for a long time. You have had internal terrorists, you have the Madrid bombings of 2008, you have a lot of action that has taken place against you, and you have survived them. But imagine a situation where the terrorists were being sponsored by some of your neighbors, where they were sending in terrorists every month, every week, every day, where they were sending in people across the borders to Spain. How would Spain react? Would you react by saying, no, it's okay, we will discuss with them, we will see what we can do? You stop it. You stop illegal immigrants from coming into the country. You stop them at the border. You have killed illegal immigrants. You remember the media episode. I don't have to tell you. That is how normal countries do. You protect your people. You protect your people from threats that you see from outside. And this is what we are doing. You cannot have terrorists coming into a country, shooting people in the head in front of the families, in front of the world, and expect us to be a civilized country behaving like that. We are civilized. We do not go back and attack the whole of Pakistan. We are trying to stop the terrorist infrastructure. And all we are asking is that Pakistan help us stop the terrorist infrastructure. That's all we are asking. Rather than support back and now retaliate for us having attacked the terrorists. So.
Yeah, absolutely. What about the risk of nuclear escalation? What can you tell us about that? I know it is a very, problematic subject, but...
No, see, this is what is being used by many people to try to tell us that we should not do anything because the Pakistanis have nukes. I mean, the Europe has gone through this in the past. Europe has gone through a situation where you have lived for many, many years on the threat of nuclear war. But nuclear war is not so simple. The world will not allow such a thing to happen. And we have not allowed any situation to escalate to a manner in which we think that this option can be taken. But we are not confident of the other side. So we are here to protect ourselves. We are protecting ourselves. We are protecting our people. We are protecting our civilians. We are protecting people, the infrastructure that we have. And we want this thing to come down to a normal level where we are fighting the real enemies, which is the terrorists. And in this, we want the world's help. I mean, terrorism is an issue which you cannot solve by yourself. It's like climate change, or it's like any other issue, global issue, which can be solved if all countries come together. You cannot have my terrorists are good terrorists, your terrorists are bad terrorists. There is no good terrorist, bad terrorist. All terrorists are terrorists. And we need to work together, all countries, especially Europe, to work with countries to stop the terrorist infrastructure. We know very clearly what is happening in Pakistan. All countries know. Spain has. You ask Spain intelligence, you ask any European intelligence agency, you ask UK, you know where it is, where the camps are, who is training them, what is happening there. You've seen what happened in Afghanistan. You've seen what is happening across the world. Why can't we stop it?
Sorry. All right. So, do you think there is in your assessment, is there a nuclear risk on this situation, or really, it exists, but it is so unlikely that, there's nothing to worry about, really?
No, we are worried. It's not a question of we are not worried about it. We understand the world's worry. And we understand that in Pakistan, like you said, you asked a question, is Pakistan in control of the terrorist, or are the terrorists doing it on their own, sponsored by Pakistan? Now, Pakistan is a country with very few resources. They're economically not doing well. They have a problem. And we are worried that at some stage, if the government and the establishment does not control these kind of things can go out of hand. We are worried. We are concerned every day. We look at it in a situation where we are concerned about a country which is going down the drain. But we cannot let that stop us from taking action, what we think is necessary. And because of that, we have taken action which is restrained, calculated, measured, and to a large extent only targeted at terrorist infrastructure. We have not targeted any other things. This is one of the main reasons why we have kept it at that low space.
So I wanted to ask you, what is the core reason why does Pakistan keep supporting these kind of terrorist groups? I mean, what's the core idea? What's the nuclear problem of this thing from your point of view?
See, there are many reasons, and I really would not want to judge, but you look at this event, you look at what happened in this event. This event was done 15 days, literally 2 weeks after the Pakistan Army chief spoke strongly in a message. You can see it on the internet, it is there, where he talked about how the Indian Muslims and Hindus cannot work together, how the two-nation theory, the Muslims from India had come across to Pakistan, how the division of the two countries were done, how Kashmir is the jugular vein. I don't know how to say it in Spanish. Kashmir is the jugular vein, and that Pakistan will do anything to get it at any cost. Your army chief saying that encourages terrorists. And who is the army chief? The army chief is the former chief of the spy agency, ISI. The spy agency ISI chief today becomes the army chief. And ISI has been supporting terrorist groups across the world. Your former ISI chief becomes the army chief. Then he speaks about taking out the jugular vein of attacking India. And then 15 days later, the attack happens. Why is the army interested in a war with India? Because if there is peace, there is no need of an army. The army loses control. And so there are people who do not want peace. And we've been saying that in India it's the other way around. The civilian authorities control the army. And we're talking about Hindu-Muslim. Look at the briefings you're getting. You're getting briefings from Muslim officers of the Indian Army. Indian Army does not distinguish. We do not look at differences this way. And so we are sad that Pakistan is caught in a situation like this. Normal Pakistanis are not like that. But the army has been exposed for a long amount of time. People of Pakistan used to think army is the person who is saving them from the politicians. Now they realize the problem is the army itself. And the army needs to have an enemy for them to justify why they're spending so much money, why they're in control of half of the economic infrastructure, why the politicians depend on the army. It's very, very, very sad. And so let's see what happens out of this. We hope that the establishment within Pakistan will understand the mistake they have made and will collaborate with us, work with us to stop the terror infrastructure in their own country.
Yeah, and at this point where this may become a tit for tat, what do you expect from Pakistani retaliation? Is there any expectation of something approximately that could happen? Or there is no idea and this still depends on what they want to do?
See, Pakistan has an opportunity to de-escalate, to not to allow things to go out of hand, is to talk to us, to discuss with us that this has, yes, we agree there are terror infrastructures in Pakistan. We also are suffering. Pakistan keeps on saying that they suffer from terrorists within their own country. It's like former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton had said that if you keep snakes as pets, they will bite you one day. So, if you keep snakes as pets, they will bite you one day. And this is what she had said, and it is true. If Pakistan stops keeping snakes as pets, it will have nothing to worry about. It's a country which needs economic growth. It has a large population, a bright population. It's a country which needs to grow economically and prosper so that it can bring prosperity to its people. Instead of doing that, why do you continue to sponsor terrorism and terrorist activities across the world and in India? This is something I am unable to understand.
And finally, do you think that Spain would profit from a much better relation with India if it stands out in this conflict? If we are more active in supporting
we have
India?
a very good relation with Spain, and let me be very frank, it's a very, very good relation. With this government, we had Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, was the first Prime Minister to visit India in 18 years. We are doing a lot. Our trade relations has grown up rapidly in the last 3 years. People-to-people relations are increasing. More tourists coming to Spain. More infrastructure. You have Indians across. You have a lot of good things happening in India, Spain, and nothing is going to change. This is not going to make any difference. And we expect Spain to be understanding of what is happening across the world. Spain needs to understand that if it happened to Spain, what would it do? If the same thing happened to Spain, what would it do? Like I told you, we cannot solve global problems by a single country. Global problems needs global action. And global action to stop terrorism is something we need. We know where the terrorists are. We know where they are everywhere in the world. We knew where Al-Qaeda was. Everybody was looking for it. When you look for Osama bin Laden, then you find it in Pakistan, next to an army cantonment. I mean, how more blatant can you be? Then you look at this case of Sajjad Mir. Sajjad Mir was one of the people who the Americans were looking for. Everybody was looking for across the world. He was one of the main people who planned the Mumbai attacks of 2008. Sajjad Mir. Pakistan said he is dead. And then in 2022, he was found in Pakistan. And now, I mean, this is ridiculous. A country which keeps on lying all the time and then is caught out and says, oh, no, we did it because we were forced by others. We cannot trust a country like that. So the international leaders should understand they have to put pressure on the Pakistani establishment to stop their terror network.
All right, so that's as a final question, what would be your message to the Spanish audience who is looking at information on this conflict, on this crisis?
No, the Spanish audience are quite intelligent. They understand what is happening. I don't think so any country in the world will want to stop action being taken against terrorists. We want them to support us in these action that we're taking. We also want the international community to put pressure on Pakistan. We want them to understand viewpoint and to allow things to go on like they have been in the past. Let us focus on industry, on business, on trade, on infrastructure, on finance, on global affairs. Let's not focus on things which are barbaric in nature, which are terrible, of killing people, of having terrorists coming across to another country to kill them. If this happened to Spain, we would be the first to support you. We expect the same from Spanish people.
All right, so thank you very much, Mr. Dines, for being here with us today.
No, thank you very much, and it was really good to talk to you. And I hope you can reach out to the Spanish audience and explain to them what is happening.
Yeah, I'm sure about it. So, muchas gracias a todos por estar ahí. Espero que hayáis disfrutado tanto de la entrevista como yo. Bueno, lo subtitula automáticamente YouTube, o sea que no habrá ningún problema para escucharlo. Lo único que a veces tarda unos minutos. Espero que os haya resultado tan interesante como a mí. Muchas gracias a todos por estar aquí y hasta otra. Chao, chao.